preparation?
Really, it's just, it's just different mentality when you get to playoffs. So it's just all focused on one team for a whole week, and we never get that in the regular season. So it's just, a lot of details, a little bit of everything, different schemes, different, just like prepared for every situation possible. So it's just been a lot of exciting.
What's your main responsibilities against Rudy Gobert?
Shoot, box him out, force overs, get him switched on to guys, set good screens. He's not my main focus. Obviously, he's my main matchup, but my main focus is getting guys like Luka and them open, rebounding, crashing hard, just out-competing them. That's my goal.
How do you feel about your corner three reads with your passing too on the short rolls, and how that's going to be big in the series too as well? How do you feel like you brought some of that?
My corner dude?
No, I'm talking about your passing.
Oh, my passing. I was about to say, shoot, this ain't the time I'm going to start shooting corner threes out of nowhere. But, I feel like I've always been able to pass. I played football growing up. I played guard growing up. I wasn't always as tall. So, I grew up playing PG. I grew up playing shooting guard. I was short. I wasn't a tall kid. So, I knew how to pass. So, I feel like it's just playing slow and playing, reading the game. Not speeding myself up. That's the problem I come into a lot of the times, just because I see a little bit of lane, I think I can take off, and next thing you know, the dude's sliding over, I'm getting charged. So it's just playing a little bit slower, and I feel like it's just part of the progression of playing in the pocket.
You feel like being with Luka has helped you in terms of that? Because I saw even with Lively was starting to make those corner three reads too, and I seen it happen with you a lot more. You made a big play like a few games ago to Austin to win that game like a couple months ago, but can you talk about that?
I feel like it definitely helped Luka a lot, because everyone's expecting me on the road now, so it's like there's going to be low men, and I'm not going to have a free run at the hoop every time. So I know I got to be looking out for low men, so I feel like it's definitely helped me helped me progress my game. Also, watching passes like that, it makes you want to pass the ball more. So.
Jaxson, with all the growth that you saw this season, what's your expectations on what sort of impact you can provide for this series?
My expectations is back winning. I know the energy I can bring, and I know the type of competitiveness I can bring. So that's just my goal. Really is just impact winning as much as I can.
How conscious are you of avoiding foul trouble?
Very. Obviously, that's the big thing I struggle with. People tend to watch certain guys when they're out there, and so I know I'm gonna get a lot of foul calls. And I know if I'm in the wrong place at the wrong time, I'm gonna get that call. So I got to make sure I'm in the right place. And,
do you feel watched?
Everyone's watched out there. If you look at anybody out there, it's hard not to get fouled out there, especially against certain type of players. So I just got to make sure I'm in the right spots at the right times and don't have my hand.
Jaxson, I think it was last January that you made a big gain in terms of the not fouling, and then your minutes seemed to coincide something with that. Do you remember anything specifically that clicked in a certain way of, all right, this is working and it's leading to more minutes?
Yeah, it was really showing your hands. That's a huge thing. And I felt last year I was more in drops and under the rim, so that was my thing was coming down when guys were driving into me, and that's how I kept getting a lot of fouls last year. So now I just working on my verticality. And then another part of not fouling for me is my legal freedom, so making sure I'm not wide or have my hands in a bad place on defense, reaching in, trying to get a quick steal when playing against a guy like SG, we know he's going to come up and do that. So it's just little things like that. It's just being very conscious of that stuff.
How big is that going to be?
Extremely. It's probably one of the most dynamic players in the league right now, most athletic guards in the league by far. And he's going to get the foul call. He's driving hard to the rim, so I just got to make sure I'm in the right position not to give him any freebies.
How much is your screening, you mentioned today, forcing overs, how much has that been emphasized in terms of your game prep, and how much more difficult is that when you're going against a Minnesota team that has such physical defenders just down the line?
Stinks.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker.
I know who you're talking about. I got drafted with Nikhil, so he's not that tough of a defender, really. But everyone, you go against guys like Ant, who's locked in on the ball, J-Mac. Guys like that, Nikhil's, his game's developed insanely on the defensive end from when we got drafted together. But that's a huge part. I don't get Luka open, I don't force it over. And then, I mean, if I don't get Braun open or AR open, like, that's our offense, and we're getting the bad offense. And so I mean, that's a huge impact for me in affecting the game. It's just making sure I get those guys off the bounce. So.
Jaxson, obviously, Luke's on your team now, so you don't deal with this in the moment, but he loves to call bigs up, right? Do you just think about as a big growing up that would be a part of the game now? It's so active where you're taught to kind of defend the rim, but now you got to get out on an island with one of the most creative guys in the league, and the difficulty of that.
Yeah, I mean, that's always, I felt like that's always been part of the game, at least a little bit for me. I mean, like I said, I wasn't tall growing up. I wasn't that tall. I had a late growth spurt my junior year of high school, so I played guard. But I didn't think that's what the game was trying to do. I mean, that's what it is now. You got, great ball maker, what's the word I'm looking for? Playmakers with the ball. Sorry. You got great playmakers with the ball. And so, when you get a mismatch like that, you want to take full advantage of it. So, that's definitely got to be a big part of the series.
Thanks, Jaxson.
Thank you, guys.
Everyone have a good day.
Played in practice.
What is it you're looking forward to
The first time I feel that Laker energy, that I grew up watching them in the playoffs. I'm excited to see how the energy that's going to be able to do it.
JJ challenged you guys a couple weeks ago to kind of shift into playoff mode already. Did you feel like that helped you get through the end of the regular season and make this week a chance to kind of stay in that locked in mentally, even if you're not playing the games?
For sure. Coach did a good job of getting us ready, like you said, but it's the details. It was more about the details, paying attention to what we're trying to get done offensively and defensively, and that what can give you the win in the playoffs. Each game different. Everybody gonna play a game and make some adjustments, and that's the details. Like I said, so we started probably 2 weeks ago. Our captains, double down on it. Braun and Lucas, so everybody followed.
Do you have any playoff superstitions or anything that you do away from the court that's different than you would do during the regular season?
Hell no. I try to probably listen to more slow music because I'll be a little bit too hyped.
What are some of the artists?
Anita Baker. I like to go older. Depends on the vibes. Anita Baker. Carl Thomas, The Summer Rain, Encore from Shirley. My playlist, I'm nice with it.
There you go.
You just mentioned feeling that Laker energy in the playoffs. What do you expect to be different about it or specific about it?
I know, the playoffs are different, obviously, but just every possession matters when you're playing in the playoffs. And our fans are always engaged, so I can only imagine how it's going to be in the playoffs. And just talking to AR and Vando, they talk about their run they made and how it was lit in the building. So I just want to see for myself.
You said that your captains double down on the details. What do you mean? What double down?
Braun and Luka just telling us how important those games was. We need to have a playoff approach. And that's every possession matters. Can't have those limbo possessions where we barely getting back on defense. All them possessions matter, especially when you're trying to do something special.
How important is it for that kind of vocal spiritual? And also, how have you felt the energy kind of intensifying and ramping up as you guys kind of count down the days?
It's just been locked in. Focusing on their player personnel, what they want to do. They got a great team. They've been playing real good the last. I think Coach said it was 21-4 or something like that, finishing the season. So they probably one of the best teams, end of the year. So it's gonna be a tough battle, and we're excited.
You've seen a certain amount of increases you do in the kind of the court top screen action with Luka. Do you remember doing a decent amount of that in Dallas, or has it been something that was intentional with certain sets here?
Whenever I had the opportunity, I would do it in Dallas, but it's usually with big men in drops. And usually they're not in drops. I'm popping when they're in drops, so I was able to get a couple gourd top screens because they was a man-to-man. He drove my direction, and I just, the basketball instinct just kicked in and try to get my guy to lay up. So, it's available for, when the floor is spaced the right way, it's available. But it's a drink when you put in for a drop drink.
Minnesota does do.
They do a little bit of both because they got Rudy back there. He big as hell, so keeping them close to the rim is in their man.
I always feel like, Ron, when he manipulates the game, there'll be situations where, like, I remember there's a play, Goodwin, and he told you and Goodwin to interchange, and then you get a switch, and he finds a deep corner three. How has it been for you in terms of difference between him and Luke?
Man, it just he know. It seems like he know what's going to happen before it happens. And it's been certain timeouts where coach would say a play, he say I'm gonna go back door, the live gonna be open. And most of the times the live be open, or he'll tell me he'll be open for the slip, and he definitely be open for the slip. So you want to do what he say, because sometimes I may benefit from it and get a wide open corner three like you say. So just have somebody who can be another coach on the court, alongside with Luka, who I've been on the court with for a while. It's amazing. Sometimes in the game, they quarterbacking. They're not even talking to JJ. They just getting us in sets and getting us in the right spots on the court. So it's been amazing playing with them.
So like playing with Luka in the playoffs.
Ah man, it's exciting. I already know bro gonna come with the juice. He love the moment. Knowing him, he probably got to calm him down too, because he's gonna be barking. Everybody's gonna be, it's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be exciting.
Dorian, you've been with this team for a little over 4 months. Luka's been here for 2.5. I think in some circumstances, chemistry and stuff like that would be a question. But it feels like, does it feel that way? Does it feel like you guys have been through a lot, even though it's been a short amount of time?
For sure. Just with the injuries, just the communication amongst each other. I feel like we did a good job of trying to gel as best as we could in a little bit of time that we had. But we got easygoing guys, man. I always say Luka, a low maintenance superstar. He don't ask for much, and Brian being who he is, easygoing guy. And, they gel well. So, AR he talks a lot of shit that people don't know. But that's I like him too. So it is what it is.
You talked about Luka barking during the playoffs. Is Luka's on-court and off-court demeanor very different?
If he close with you, it's the same. But if you don't know him much, he's smiling a lot off the court. On the court, he kind of talking a lot of trash to the bench or whoever fan he pick out that's yelling at him. But it's exciting, man. He brings some excitement to the game and make unbelievable passes. He looked like last game, the Houston game. I cut thinking he's not gonna throw the ball to me. He throw it my direction, and he's like, "What you think I didn't see you?" I'm like, "Yeah."
Sorry.
Thanks, Joe.
That means time to go, huh?